Something's gotta give. How many times did I think this during my dark night? More than I can count. I'd feel angry and ripped off that things weren't getting better. It would be suggested to me to call on Archangel Michael. Why didn't the angels swoop in and take away my fear and the dread and shoo away any negative entities? Why did the perfect location for my business fall through at the last minute? It's now 7 years later, and I can look back on everything with a new perspective. But while I was still in it, it was hard to see or believe in getting to the other side of it. The hardest thing for me was that I was focused more on the physical aspects of my life, the material aspects. I had taken a big leap of faith walking away from my life and job in California after going through a lot of upheaval. I made a move to change my life for the better, inside and out, and I demanded to see tangible results, haha. Through the entire process, I found it hard to accept how long it was taking, because even though I was doing inner work and healing, I just didn't realize the extent of the healing and releasing that needed to be done. The reality was that it was going to take as long as it was going to take. Even though I knew my soul was what needed healing, which is an inside job, I still stubbornly believed that my material life should have been greatly improving at a much quicker pace than it was. It's hard to see when we're in the thick of it, and isn't that how life is, before and after waking up? Our awareness in any moment is as it is. We comprehend what we comprehend. We see what we see. No one outside of us can change this. No book, no teacher. We see and hear everything through our awareness. It's not an intellectual thing, as we tend to grasp things intellectually first. Part of it was my resistance and my somewhat delusional belief of what this dark night and awakening process would bring. I would go through phases of tuning everything out, no more listening to anyone. I remember a friend of mine who went through this process had completely stopped with any spiritual teaching, shall we say. As she said, it effed with her head. I came to completely understand this. The thing with waking up is that we're still here in the physical. We have this amazing experience with all sorts of metaphysical, supernatural, and synchronistic events. Something truly significant has occurred. But life in this reality still needs our attention. We might feel all kinds of out of sorts. People seem really bizarre and out of touch as we no longer care about mundane things. It's like we're going through this Hulk transformation, and people are looking at us and listening to us, but it's not computing. We might come off as rude or impulsive or any other number of behaviors as we're being completely redone. That's how it all felt to me anyway. People want us to be like them, like we used to be, which is why so many relationships change. We're just not on the same wavelength anymore. There was a time I didn't think I would ever want to be around those unawakened people ever again, but that does evolve. We no longer feel alien, and we're able to interact on different levels, or you might say different dimensions, or different planes of existence. We no longer wish to enlighten anyone with our knowledge. We just let everyone exist where they're at and be who they are. I've been living what I call an unconventional life for years now, choosing a life I prefer rather than choosing the most money or prestige. Most people don't even know what a kundalini awakening or a dark night of the soul is, although they may have some abstract awareness. The way I now look at life in this existence is completely turned around. But let me say that I fully believe and intend to continue my soul's journey while achieving any material success that makes sense. There's no need to be uncomfortable or to suffer, although sometimes that is the path that some are on. If I had an easy answer or fix to all this, I'd be a billionaire. I'd be the Mr. Beast of spirituality. But since that's not the case, I can at least tell you that I did make it to the other side, and what the other side is for me may not even be what it is for someone else. It most probably is not, because we each have different soul paths. We can never know what another is supposed to be experiencing. This is one crazy playground, let me tell you. We might get sand in our mouth, but at least we learn not to let that happen again. I did whatever I could to get through the worst moments of my dark night and kundalini experience. Some of it helped, and maybe some of it was just distraction. It can be hard just sitting with it. just being helpless, as I had been advised by someone who helped me along the way, and in my case, anyway, he was right. He also said that everything he had tried to do didn't move the dial one bit as far as making anything go any faster. It's all within. Soul, spirit, psyche, shadow, heart, mind, and body. Everything we've taken in, everything we have to shed and release, it takes as long as it takes. If there was one fortunate thing about my situation, it's that I was on my own. My decisions and choices only affected me. I was free to move about or be a hermit. I did what it took to take care of myself financially, and while I still have some regrets, I know I did what I needed to do at the time, and that's now my philosophy. Do what I need to do to have what I need when I need it. I've heard that said about memory, too. We don't have to remember everything, we just have to know what we need to know when we need to know it. Sometimes we just need to talk it out with someone, or write everything down. Writing everything down has been my process, to understand my dreams, my feelings, the shadow, and what's happening in that moment. As I would write, having a conversation with my higher self, I would have epiphanies or see something that I wasn't seeing before. I would use these big sketchbooks from Michael's and draw my visions. I don't like staying within the lines. Even though we know millions of others, or at least thousands of others, have been through this process, it's like anything else, where although it may lend some comfort, we're still on our own through this, which is not to say we can't get help, which of course we should. But most of us carry on day by day, struggling through the dense fog surrounding us, dealing with all the unusual physical sensations, the shadow, the fear, the depression. One day it takes a turn for the better, and then the next day, 2 turns back. So frustrating, so maddening. But suddenly one day it won't turn back. Something feels different. The roller coaster levels out onto a straighter track. You almost hold your breath, not wanting to jinx it. There will always be down moments. We're still human after all, and we're here to experience our humanness. We need to give ourselves a break. This waking up thing is the toughest thing we'll ever do. If you're still struggling, just know that you're not alone, although it may feel like it. I feel I need to mention that even though this process can be lonely, I did receive help from both the physical and non-physical. There were interventions at some points in my experience that I can't explain that were quite miraculous. Along the way, I was able to connect with higher guidance and have channeled many messages and poems that were encouraging and explained to me the bigger picture of what was happening. So while this process did hit me hard, there were amazing occurrences along the way, and my ability to connect with my higher self has been instrumental in my understanding and in opening my heart. Here is just one of the poems I received. May we all rise above and be that flame. Rise above, it's waiting there. It beats wildly for your arrival. It permeates the layers of monolithic struggle to reach the fire within. It's waiting in your honor to be sanctified. O little one, hold tight to the reins of your heart and be the presence of light that permeates the darkness. Seek truth only within that is yours to reclaim. Weep no more, my child of one. Be the flame that licks the sun.